Hello you guys, it is Black Anime with another Black Anime review. Today, I'm reviewing an anime that had an ending that was super touching. An ending that was so beautiful and so amazing that it brought a tear to my eye. An ending that, if it doesn't get a season 2, will be the worst ending in anime history. An anime that is about life struggles as a high schooler. An anime that shows the struggle as an adult high schooler and just living in the real world overall. Of course, I am talking about the new anime that came out last month. One of the first animes to do this and release all the episodes immediately. I am talking about ReLife. Let's jump right into this review and relive our lives. First, let's talk about the story. The story follows main character Kazuki Arata. Sorry if I butchered names, I'm really bad with that. But Kazuki Arata, we'll just call him Kazuki from here on out, but follows him, a 27-year-old who recently quit his job at a sales company and is now working full-time at a convenience store, hating his life, not knowing where it's gonna go, lying to his friends about working at a real job when really he's just working part-time at a convenience store, is confronted by a guy named Oga Kazuomi, and Oga works for a company called ReLife and offers him a chance to relive his life from senior year in high school. Kazuki, having nothing to lose, says, I'll take this deal. What comes with the deal is everything's paid for. So food, his living expenses, everything's paid for. So, you know, to him it's just getting a chance to redo his life, you know, and everything. But to Oga and the company ReLife, it's a chance for them to see if ReLife actually works. It's kind of like a way, I see it as a way to rehabilitate people who've had crummy lives at adulthood, to give them a chance to restart everything and find what they're really looking for in life. And that's what the story is. So he starts out in high school, senior year. Yeah, moving on. Characters. Now there is a huge main characters list. There is 6 of them. So I'm going to go through them quick. I'm not going to really stick to one too much because I don't, want to take forever on this review. First we have Kazuki, obviously, main male protagonist. Starts out his ReLife, saying he's just going to avoid making contact, he's going to avoid friends, he's just going to sit in the background and redo his senior year of high school. But then it turns out he starts getting involved with people, getting involved with their lives, getting involved with more than what he wants, and makes actual connections with them. Then we have Hishoru Chizuru, who is, I would consider her the main female protagonist. She's a very awkward student. She has all the brains in the world. She's super smart, top score in her class for grades and everything and tests, but she's just very awkward. She doesn't know how to socialize with people. And when I say she doesn't know how to socialize, I mean she really doesn't know how to socialize. She has one of the creepiest smiles I've ever seen in anime history, and yeah, she's just really awkward. And then we have Karia Rena, who is a volleyball player, very outgoing, but at the same time a little shy and doesn't like to express her feelings or emotions to other people. Then we have Anne Onoria. She's personally my favorite female protagonist in this show. Very outgoing, hyperactive, off the walls character. If you've seen, let me think of an anime that would well explain her character with she's very hyperactive like Naruto. She's very outgoing like she's that person. She's a morning person. She's that person that wakes up at 6 a.m., perfect, ready to go, fully energized. Then we have Oga Kazumori. I'm sorry, butchering names. Like I said, I'm not good with that. But he works for ReLife and takes the pill himself so he could become a high schooler and keep his eye on Kazuki throughout the term. He's known as a supporter, someone who will support them in lots of ways, but not too much, because if you interfere too much, it becomes you telling them how to live their lives instead of them reliving their lives. So supporter's only there to support so much. He's very in the background, I guess you can say. Like, when it's just him and Kazuki, they are chatting it up, but when it's just, you know, in the classroom setting or anywhere else kind of setting, if it's not just Kazuki, he's in the background. You don't really notice him much. Then we have Yoke Royo. He is another male protagonist. He is pretty smart. He got the second highest score in his class, but he is a dunce when it comes to romance. There's a female protagonist who is into him, but he just doesn't realize it and just can't get a hint. And it's funny because you have Kazuki, who's flunking classes but understands love, but then you have Ryoyu or Yoke, who is super smart but doesn't understand love. They are pretty much the same person, but switch between love and smarts, you know. Moving on to animation and sound. I'm a huge fan of the intro and the outro. The animation, I find it to be very down to earth. Now, when I say down to earth, I don't mean like it's super real to the point where I feel like I'm watching an actual classroom. I feel like it has the perfect amount of realness to the characters and the tones they use for the skin colors and the hair colors and whatnot. But then I just love to see those scenes where, you know, not trying to sound pervy or anything, but when the skirt's just blowing in the wind, or, you know, the movement of a tie as someone's walking. They did that very well. And the fireworks scene in the very last episode was stunning. That's all I'm going to say about the last episode, because I don't want to spoil it. But the fireworks in the end were stunning. They did them well. The reflection in the water from the fireworks was done super well. And the animation really stood out in this show. I don't say that a lot. Mainly it's the sound to me that stands out a lot. But in this show, the animation really stood out freaking well. Moving on to something I like to talk about. There's always a bad and there's always a good to an anime. So I like to point out the really bad parts and the really good parts. Let's start with the good with this anime. The good with this anime is the characters. Yes, there are a lot. There's a huge cast. They are well introduced, I guess is what I'm trying to say. They're there and you understand them. They're not there for a bit and they don't see them for a long time. They are there and they are there to stay. The characters are, you know all the characters. You feel like you get a connection with each one of the characters in this show. Is one big thing I like about this show. The other thing I just have to mention once again is the animation is just gorgeous. It is stunning how well the animation is done in this anime. Another thing is the story. Okay, like normally when you get these kind of slice of life animes, you don't get this kind of idea with it. You get high schoolers just being high schoolers. But with the whole ReLife thing added to it, it's a whole different experience. It's not like Clan Ad. It sounds a lot like it's high schoolers falling in love and just being high schoolers. But with that whole ReLife thing, knowing that Kazuki, as soon as he's done with high school, as soon as he's done with the senior year, they all forget him. Knowing that, it just adds a whole different aspect to it. Because, you know, he wants to get close to these guys. They're starting to become his friends. But he doesn't want to get too close to the point where he's hurt. Because he will remember them, but they won't remember him at all. So it's really good. I love the story for this. Now, I pointed out those three things I find really good. Let's talk about the bad, because no matter how good an anime is, whether it's as good as this one or as bad as School Days, it always has a bad. The bad for this one is how short the series was. It was 13 episodes. I felt like it was rushed. As you know, I'm pretty sure, I may be incorrect, so don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure school season in Japan starts in spring, because it ends in spring. So I imagine it starts in springtime too. It picks back up again. Well, no, never mind. What I'm saying is you don't get to see all the seasons they go through. You see the beginning, spring, and then you see a tiny bit of summer, and that's really it. You don't see them in winter, you don't see them in fall, and I would like to see that. Now, that's a bad for now, just because there hasn't been a season 2 confirmed, but it may be the way it ended. I would imagine they would get a season 2. Moving on to another bad. The way they ended it. Like I said, until they announced the season 2, these things are considered bad in my eyes. They ended it on such a huge cliffhanger. Not cliffhanger, but they opened up something, okay? Such a plot twist that it is just, like, as epic as Gurren Lagann throwing universes around. It is just crazy how big this plot twist is. And then it ends. Like, you get the plot twist, you get a 5-minute little slideshow of everyone just chatting it up and having a good time at the end of the series, and then it's done. So I would really like to see a season 2, because also we didn't, I guess that's kind of a spoiler, so I'm gonna be careful with that. But, yeah, that's another problem I have with this show. And one last problem I had in this show is, yes, we know a worker from ReLife. We know Olga's from ReLife, but that's really it. We don't get to learn much about the company. We don't get to really know what Kazuki's doing for them for a job. We don't know what offer he's getting for a job. We just know that Olga works for them. I would like to know more about ReLife overall. Now, time for the review. I do my reviews like my anime list does theirs. I go from terrible, very bad, bad, below average, average, above average, good, very good, amazing, and then the very rare masterpiece that we rarely see. I've never seen a masterpiece. I've seen very close, but never a masterpiece. Now, when giving this review, it's really hard. I want to give it something really good, but until a season 2 is confirmed, I don't feel like I should. So, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you 2 reviews, okay? Here's the review, is if season 2 continues. If they get a season 2, or if the show continues. A very good. Yeah, a high, I would give it a high very good. So, barely below amazing. I'd give it a low amazing or high very good. But if there isn't a season 2, if a season 2 doesn't come and they just really want to push people to the mangas like lots of shows want to, good. And I know that that's huge difference, you know, from a low, amazing, and just good. That is a whole level between the two. It's pretty big difference. It's the difference between an A- and C. You know, it's a pretty big difference. And I know that, and that's why I'm giving you those 2 options. You could choose to watch it or not. If you are looking for an anime that just makes you laugh, that just makes you cry, that just makes you happy to see people, these guys do, watch it. I highly suggest it. But you're looking for an anime that's not gonna, like, I'm not saying this isn't gonna get a season 2, but there is a chance of it not. And if it doesn't, I don't want to really suggest people to it. Okay, you guys, I'm starting something new with all my reviews now. At the end of each review, I'm gonna give you a suggestion for a show to watch that is a lot like this. I would suggest Clan or Charlotte to you for a show that's a lot like this. Once again, you guys, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. We have reached 21 subscribers. Thank you so much. Let's keep pushing for it. Once again, thank you for watching. Black Anime out.